Do you like music? Cool. Welcome to Hextech Mayhem, a League of Legends story.
Ready?
Hextech Mayhem is a surprisingly challenging rhythm runner game developed by Choice Provisions and published by Riot Forge. Set in the League of Legends universe, you control Ziggs, an explosive expert set on causing chaos wherever he goes. Before we begin, a bit of backstory. I've been eyeing this game for the past months, but always looked at it like just, it's a Geometry Dash thingy with a League of Legends skin. Boy, was I wrong and dumb and mostly stupid for missing out on a phenomenal game. The gameplay is very simple. You automatically run and need to either jump, drop, or throw bombs. That's it. 3 buttons. And it's not easy, and it doesn't get old either. Along your path, indicators tell you when to perform each of those actions to the beat of the music, and that's it. Or is it? Let me tell you a story. It is my story, and it contains mechanical spoilers for the game. It's weird, I know, to have spoilers in an auto runner. But if the background footage has piqued your interest in any way, just close the video and play the game, I'll still be here. Anyway, here I was playing the early levels, following the on-screen indicators, but there was something off. Something missing. The screen was full of unexploded stuff, which you can't allow, right? And I wasn't really keeping up with the music. I don't know how well this will come across in the video, but eventually I realized each drum part mapped to a particular action. E for jump, snare for drop, right for bombs. So I started experimenting by doing stuff outside of the indicators, and holy shit, there are hidden prompts all over the level! As soon as I incorporate these extra notes, the whole game just comes alive. Everything starts exploding to the beat, the extra sound effects just mesh with the music, and it's a sight to behold. It turns the game into much more than just pure reflexes and finger dexterity with 750,000 notes per second, into almost like a puzzle-ish experience, because you're suddenly looking for clues in the level as a whole, and you're trying to figure out what the game wants you to do in order to interact with every object and grab every collectible. And you don't even need to follow the hidden prompts to a T either. You can just jam along to your own beat and create custom rhythms. It's wild and great and surprising, because I've never seen a rhythm game let you express yourself like this. And it's why I suggested you should experience this by yourself instead of having it spoiled. Now, remember how I said in the beginning this is a challenging game? That's only half true, because none of this is mandatory in any way. If you die, the songs just keep going, and you can join in a couple seconds later. There are separate scores for mandatory and hidden actions. In order to progress through the various levels, you just need to collect some amount of gizmos along the way, and the requirements are very lenient. All of this combines to make a very customizable experience, from a super casual and chill game if you just want to see cool visuals and listen to nice music, not caring about score at all, to sadistically precise inputs to get the joy of just flawlessing that sick bit and knowing you actually enhance the music somewhat. Speaking of music, it is, as one would expect, stellar. To the point where every other level I was sure I found my favorite track of the game, only to find a new favorite right afterwards. I only wish there was more diversity in time signatures. This will probably only matter to musically inclined folks, but songs are all in a 4x4 beat, and although there's some variation and pseudo-syncopation in harder levels, it can feel a tiny bit samey. Nerdness done, don't worry. The game features a light-hearted, fully voice-acted story about Professor Heimerdinger trying to stop you from just blowing the city up.
1 and a 2 and a... Put 'em up!
It's just flavor, it doesn't really matter at all, and it's all sprinkled with some very dumb humor that I kinda found funny, if we're being honest.
I'm beholding it! Now what? I got this!
In terms of longevity, the game will pretty much last you as long as you want it, due to the unique difficulty selection and the inherent nature of rhythm games. There are 39 levels in total, and my goal was to collect every gizmo and flawless my favorite songs, which I accomplished in about 25 hours. If I wanted to flawless every song, the time would probably double, and there's even new, harder game modes that unlock after beating the game to mess around with. However, if you just want to beat the game and be done with it, my guess is that it would take you around 5 to 10 hours, depending on if you struggle or not. As for downsides, like I said before, I wish the beats were a bit more varied. Not that the game ever gets boring, particularly when chasing the hidden actions, but patterns show up one too many times for my liking, to the point where you can probably one-shot some later levels. However, and much more critically, the game desperately needs a training mode where you can freely practice just some song sections. Levels follow a mostly formulaic approach to their progression. Introduce a rhythmic structure that defines that level, ramp up from there, add some pizzazz and some sprinkles midway through, and then throw it all out a window for a ludicrous end section that leads to a grand finale. What this means is that, for a 4-minute song, if you want to practice that insane ending, you need to restart the level over and over and over again and just slog through the first 3.5 minutes. This is honestly infuriating, and it made me give up on flawlessing some levels because I just couldn't stand the first 95% of the song one more time. I also feel like mod support would go a long way, and I'm sure the community would come up with some crazy levels, and it's a shame that it doesn't exist. And that's enough from me. If you want to give this very unique, charming and challenging rhythm game a try, there are links to it in the description. See ya!